Hello lovies, welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Gina, aka Gina Louise. So today, let's get right to it. I'm going to take a button down top that I do not wear, a curtain panel, we're going to slap it together and we're going to make a really cool top. So let's get started. Here is the beige striped button down top I do not wear and the curtain panel I'm going to use. The first thing I'm doing is I'm going to pin the front to the back in just random areas. It's a very slippery fabric, so when I cut it, I don't want it to slip around. So that's what I'm doing, putting a couple pins here and there. Now I am just going to draw a line from the top of the sleeve all the way to the bottom hem. So I'm taking my tailor's chalk here and my ruler and I'm just making a straight line, and I'm going to do this on both sides so that I can cut it evenly. Now I am folding the curtain panel lengthwise to find the center, and I'm going to put some random pins in this as well so that I can cut it like I did with the shirt and not have it wiggle around and have uneven cuts. So a couple of pins here and there, and then I'm going to cut right down the center. So what's so great about using a curtain panel is, especially this one here, it has a hem on both ends, and it also has a hem on the long side. So I can use that to my advantage, so I don't have to do extra work here of hemming it. So I'm going to take the panel now that I cut in half, and I'm taking the side that is cut, because obviously that's the side that does not have a hem on it, and I am going to put it right sides together with my top, and I'm going to sew it. I am lining up the front edge, the hem of the front of the shirt, with the edge of the curtain panel. And I will pin that all the way up around the shoulder and all the way down the back. Right now I'm removing all my stabilizing pins so that I can open up this shirt and lay it flat and then pin the panel all the way from front to back. I am making sure that they're lining up perfectly even, edge to edge.
Grandma's hands were rough but kind, worked the needle through the time. She taught me stitches and told me tales of patchwork hearts and how love prevails. Through scraps of fabric, memories bloom in her little kitchen's glowing room. Her voice a thread that spun me whole as I stitched my heart and sewed my soul. Stitch by stitch I bring to life, colors dancing sharp as a knife. Grandma's lessons I still hold tight, creating love under soft moonlight. Button here seemed just so. With every piece I learned to grow. Life's not perfect, patterns to trace, but beauty hides in a patchwork place. She said create when the world feels cold, make something.
The panel is longer than the shirt in the back, but you're going to see what I do with that later. I leave the panel at the length that it is, and then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew this side on. I'm going to stitch all along here and then I'm going to show you what we have. So here's what I have so far, the one sleeve, and it has a really nice drape. The two fabrics are really working nice together. Now I'm going to bring it over and I'm going to put the next side on. And then after I sew it, I'll bring it back and show you what we have. It's coming out so pretty, I love it. Okay, so here's the sleeve, and the back is longer. Let me make sure I have that even up there. Yes, okay, the back is longer. This is already hemmed on this side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pin it right now to keep it in line, even here. Let's move it over a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put a pin in it here. Pin here to keep it stable. And here I'm going to cut from the back, which is longer, and just cut up and meet this corner. I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer so I could hem this. This side is already has the hem on it. We don't have to worry about that. So I'm not going to turn this inside out to sew it. I'm going to sew it right with the wrong sides together because of this hem. So I'm going to probably come down about to here. Let me see how many inches that is. That is probably like about 10 inches. I'm going to start here and I'm just going to sew this closed. So this way my arm can come out of here and you can't see inside. So, you know, you can't see my bra, my belly, whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sew here and leave this part open. And like I said, I'm going to sew right on the right side because it's already hemmed. This I'm going to cut. I'm just going to eyeball it. I do that a lot with stuff. I eyeball it. So I'm not going to cut completely even with this because I want to put a little hem on it. So I'm coming down just a little bit. Rather have it longer than too short. And I'm just going to make my way up like this. There we go. And I'm going to put a little hem on that now. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Then I can hem this. Here's the pinned hem, and now I'm going to take that over to the machine, and I'm just going to sew that with a straight stitch. Okay, so I sewed on the sides, but I did not sew down. I said I was going to sew down here so that you couldn't see in, but it's perfectly fine like this with just the armholes. I love it. I tried it on. It looks super cute. But I'm not done. So I have this lace that matches the flowers on here. So I wanted to put like this little piece of lace coming out of the pocket. And I felt like this side was too empty. So I wanted to put this on it, a piece. I made a patch from the roses that are on the sleeves, but I realized it was too big. So I decided I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to pin this in place, and I'm going to sew this one down here. I'm going to sew that on, and I think I'm going to be happy with just the way it is, like that. Okay, so I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go to my sewing machine. I'm going to do that. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to sew it, and I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm just putting my acrylic ruler between the two layers. This way I don't pin the layers together when I'm pinning on my patch. You could put anything in between it. A lot of times I'll rip off the flap off of an Amazon box I have sitting in the house to make sure I don't pin things together. So I'm just pinning on that patch. Like I said, I used the Heat and Bond fusible interfacing on the back of it. I used medium weight. I didn't want it too heavy to drag on one side, but I felt it needed to be stabilized a little more to make a patch out of it. So I did iron that onto the back of it. Hello lovies, this is the part of my video where I stop and I interrupt you and I say, do you like what you see so far? And if you do, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of this content, consider subscribing to my channel. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And if you hit the little bell on the side, it will let you know and give you a notification when I put up a new video. Now, as for that little piece of lace I wanted to droop over the top of the pocket, I grabbed some of my embroidery floss and I decided to just put a couple stitches through it just to give it another little pop of a pinkish magenta color.
Grandma's hands were rough but kind. Worked the needle through the time. She taught me stitches and told me tales of patchwork hearts and how love prevails.
And now for the final results.
In her little kitchen's glowing room, her voice a thread that spun me whole as I stitched my heart and sewed my soul. Stitch by stitch I bring to life, colors dancing sharp as a knife. Grandma's lessons I still hold tight, creating love under soft moonlight. A button here seemed just so. With every piece I learned to grow. Life's not perfect patterns to trace, but beauty hides in a patchwork place. She said create when the world feels cold, make something new from the tales you're told. Thread your dreams and stitch them tall, even the smallest seams can stand it all. Stitch by stitch I bring to life, colors dancing sharp as a knife. Grandma's lessons I still hold tight, creating love under soft moonlight. Create when the world feels cold, make something new from the tales you're told. Thread your dreams.
Thanks for watching.
Even the smallest seams can stand it all. Stitch by stitch I bring to life, colors dancing sharp.